Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. I would like to give a special thanks to Lorenzo Ford for providing with the Ford Explorer ST. If you're in the market for a Ford, you can come check out Lorenzo Ford and ask for Gene. He will get you into a new pre-owned vehicle. But let's talk about the Ford Explorer here. Looking at the front styling here of the Explorer looks very aggressive here, especially with this black exterior paint, also with the red accents, which includes the brake calipers, also with the large ST badge here in the front grille. There's also this honeycomb style grille here, which looks really nice here. There's also the Ford emblem here. I'm surprised that Ford didn't black out the Ford emblem. And it's also a front-facing camera with front parking sensors here at the lower part of the fascia. And it's also LED fog lights here at the lower part of the fascia. And this is going to be functional to put an air curtain over the brakes and wheels. These headlights here are full LED, even on the base model of the Explorer. This also has an LED turn signal with an LED daytime running light with an automatic low and high beam. And I love that Ford has the Explorer name spelled out on the hood here, which is blacked out as well. But I want you guys to comment down below in the comment section and tell what you guys think about the exterior styling here of the Ford Explorer. But looking here at the side profile of the Explorer, the wheelbase here is at 119.1 inches with an overall length of 198.8 inches. So this is around on par with everything else in this segment here. Looking at these tires and wheels here, these are a 275/45 Scorpion tire. The wrapped in this 21-inch rim design. I like the multi-spoke finish here. And look at those rotors, guys. Very large rotors. Also with these red painted calipers here to give this thing really good stopping power. And of course, it wouldn't have been an SUV without the cladding here. You also have your Explorer name here at the lower part of the door panel, also with some gloss black trim. That's his LED side marker here on the mirror cap. And my model does have this large panoramic sunroof here with these roof rails here. But making our way to the rear here of the Ford Explorer, looking at these taillights here, this does have an LED combination with an incandescent turn signal and reverse light with this LED brake light. I'm surprised that Ford didn't just go with a full LED design here. There's also this rear spoiler with the third brake light integrated into the rear spoiler, also with that shark fin antenna. And there's this rear wiper here to keep the rear glass clean. I'm surprised that Ford didn't integrate it underneath the rear spoiler there. That's the Explorer name, which is blacked out, also with the Ford emblem there. I'm pretty sure if you guys were to buy this vehicle, you guys might black out the Ford emblem as well. And it's also quad tip exhaust, and there's a 7 and 4 pin connector, also with rear parking sensors. And Ford says you can tow around 5,600 pounds. And there's the ST badge here, which is very large compared to the front. But open up the cargo back here, they put the trunk release button right here. Once you click that, it opens up to reveal 18.2 cubic feet of space. And to fold down the third row here, just press this button here and the seats will power fold down. They power down really slowly, but they do come to a flat surface there. Once you do that and you fold down everything, that expands the cargo to 87.8 cubic feet of space, which is really decent cubic feet of space. And underneath here, Ford does give you a lot of underfloor storage. But overall, let's hop into the interior of the Ford Explorer. Sitting inside the interior of the Ford Explorer ST here, looking at this cabin here, this cabin looks really nice. And this is a 10.1 inch display. A lot of people gave Ford a lot of crap because they don't like the tablet style screen, but I think it looks really nice here. If you guys go for a lower model, Ford will offer an 8-inch display, but me personally, I would just go for the larger infotainment system here. And I wish that Ford would offer maybe like a red leather with red stitching here, but there's the ST badge here in the actual seat back of the seat. But shutting the door here of the Ford Explorer and starting up the Explorer here, the push button start is on the dash. You guys can hear, you guys will hear that 3-liter twin turbo V6 come to life. And looking here at the materials here, very nice soft touch ejection molded plastic. There's this aluminum accented door handle, and I have the fan speed blasting right now because it's like 100 degrees outside. There's also three person memory seats here. You can also power fold the mirrors in via this button here. Your window switches here is auto up, just auto up and auto down, only for the driver and passenger. There's a trunk release button there with the headlight controls. There's a dimmer switch here. There's the turn signal stock. There's even paddle shifters here. This does have that 10-speed automatic transmission. There's your driver's assistance here, which includes adaptive cruise control. There's the volume controls here. There's the Ford emblem on the airbag cover. Over here is for the controls to cycle through this 12.3-inch digital display, which looks very nice and very bright, especially if you guys are driving this vehicle at nighttime. There's the ST badge here at the lower part of the steering wheel. There's some aluminum trim here, which looks really nice. And the steering wheel is very chunky to hold in your hands. Looking at the materials on the dash, it's gonna be a nice soft touch ejection molded plastic here. And like I mentioned, this is a 10.1 inch display. It does support Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but unfortunately, it's just the top portion of the screen just takes up the Apple CarPlay, which I wish Ford would have the whole system take up the Apple CarPlay. Looking here, there's a volume and tune knob. There's the parking sensors, the hazard button, there's a sync and track. And over here is for the dual climate control. That's a heated steering wheel function here with 3-level heated and cooled seats, which looks really nice. Down here is going to be additional storage with cup holder space. And there is a 12-volt here, so you can basically charge a lot of your items and whatnot. You can close this. I'm going to show you guys really quick how you can close it. I wish Ford would offer maybe like a wireless function. I'm not sure. My model does not come with a wireless function, but once you close this, as you guys can see, it looks very clean here with all the cables and stuff hidden away, and you can rest your phone there. And looking at the key fob here, it does have a lock, unlock, remote start, a trunk release, and a panic button. There's the ST on back of the key fob there, which looks really nice. Putting the vehicle into reverse here, you're greeted by this top-down 360 view here with trajectory and distance markers. There's front and rear parking sensors. And go down here again, switch it over, you can go into drive, and you press M to go into manual mode, and you can use the paddle shifters here to cycle through that 10-speed automatic transmission. There's electronic parking brake, there's an auto hold with an automatic start stop. You can parallel and perpendicular park this car. There is your different drive mode selector here, which shows you normal, eco, sport, slippery, trail, and also deep snow and sand. So there's plenty of different drive modes that you can go through here on the Explorer. There's a hill descent control, the stability control is there, and there's a wireless phone charger here. My iPhone 12 Pro Max kind of fits, but it doesn't fit. There's also nice stitching here, nice padded area here to rest your elbows on a long road trip. Open up this, it does reveal a decent amount of storage in there. There's also a 12-volt in there as well, so you can keep your phone and stuff charged if you want to put it in here. But looking at the seats in here, they're supportive, they're comfortable. I love the way that they look and feel. They're for a wider frame person. And like I mentioned, this is blacked out ST badge. I wish that Ford would offer this with red leather or even with a red badge here. Above me, there's going to be LED lights throughout the cabin. And you can also open up this large panoramic sunroof, but it does not go into the actual third row. Open up this, it does reveal your sunglass holder. The materials on the dash, like I mentioned, nice soft touch ejection molded plastic. There's some gloss black trim here. Looking at this, it does reveal a large storage. Overall, I'm very impressed with the Explorer's interior, but I wish that Ford would just offer maybe a red leather or even red stitching. But let's hop into the second and third row. Getting into the second and third row of the Ford Explorer, as you guys can see here, the door opens at a pretty decent angle. But getting back here, as you guys can see here, my model does have these captain's chairs, very comfortable captain's chairs, and it also has this very large armrest here. My model also comes equipped with this large panoramic sunroof here to let light into the cabin. But looking down here, Ford says you're getting around 39 inches of legroom. I do have the seat very close up, but as you guys can see, once I push it back, I do have a generous amount of legroom and foot space under the driver's seat. This is where I have the seat to drive. There's also 2 map pockets back here. This also has your own set of climate controls back here. Open up this, it does reveal a Type-C with a traditional USB port. There's some storage here, also with the household outlet. And like I mentioned, the seats are supportive and they're comfortable. Very large armrest here for someone with very large elbows. Looking down here is going to be additional storage and cup holder space. If this wasn't here, you can basically pass through to get into the third row. We'll get into the third row very shortly. And above me is this large panoramic sunroof, also with LED lights and the air vent. And there's this coat hanger here. But looking at the materials here on the door panel, there's this soft touch ejection molded plastic with this manual sunshade here, with this aluminum trim here on the speaker cover and door handle. It's going to be nice and padded. I love the stitching, how it looks with the white. And down here is going to be additional storage and cup holder space. But let's get into the third row really quickly here. Ford makes it pretty simple. Just press this button here and the seat will tilt forward. Just push it out of its way. And as you guys can see here, there's a nice alleyway to get into the third row here. As you guys can see, the third row is basically lowered to the floor. But getting back here really quickly, keep in mind, guys, I'm only 5'8", and getting back here, I'm gonna sit right here, and this is with the seat at its farthest setting here. And as you guys can see, I do have plenty of knee room and I have plenty of foot space underneath the seat here, but I could access passenger here to slide the seat forward just a little bit. And overall, it does not feel like a penalty box back here. There's some storage, cup holder space, and this is large window here. So if you're claustrophobic, you don't have to worry about being claustrophobic on a long road trip because you have this nice size window here. And above me is going to be LED lights with the air vents. But overall, Ford did really good packaging when it came to the second and third row. Let's talk about the powertrain specs here for the Ford Explorer ST. As you guys can see here, I have the hood open already because my model has this pop rod instead of hood struts, which I'm very surprised to see here on the Explorer. But let's talk about the powertrain here. This uses Ford's 3-liter twin-turbo V6. This powertrain makes 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. It's paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission. As the Explorer sits here, it weighs in around 4,700 pounds, and Ford says this can tow up to 5,600 pounds. Fuel economy here is rated at 18 in the city, 24 on the highway. Me personally, I would just recommend going for the hybrid powertrain if you guys are looking for better fuel economy. All right guys, so starting off in the 2021 Ford Explorer ST, I'm gonna just basically be driving in the parking lot of the dealership because everyone is super busy right now and no one's available for the test drive. So let's talk about the Explorer. Ford sold 226,000 units last year in 2020, which is just super impressive because of the pandemic and everything that's going on in the world right now. And they actually sold 200,000 plus units, which is really good here. And the Explorer here has Ford's 3-liter twin turbo V6, which makes 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. It's paired with a 10-speed automatic. Fuel economy is 18 in the city, 24 on the highway, which is a pretty decent fuel economy here. But me personally, I would just go for that hybrid powertrain because you get better MPG compared to this 1824. But the ride quality here, look at me guys, no seatbelt, but the ride quality here is really good. It feels really soft, really compliant, doesn't feel harsh. My model also has 3-level heated and cooled seats, which works really good, especially in this 90-degree weather, which right now is gonna rain. So, but the performance of this powertrain and that induction noise sounds really good. Even though it's being pumped in through the speakers, it sounds really good as well. The seats in here, they're supportive, they're comfortable. I wish Ford would just offer maybe a red leather with red stitching in this interior to just to complete this interior, because it's just black on black from the outside, but you do have some red accents, which is the ST badge, the red brake calipers, which is not bad looking. But this is a really friendly SUV here because you can put your family in here, you can put this stuff in the cargo area. You get around 80 cubic feet of space. Once you fold down the rear, all the seats, you get around 80 cubic feet of space. Once you have the seats folded up, you get 18.2, which is not bad cubic feet of space. If you guys are basically carrying very light items on a road trip and whatnot. The seats in here, like I mentioned, they're supportive, they're comfortable. And overall, this thing drives really well. Even though I'm not really driving this car on the street, just driving around the parking lot here, it gets up to speed really quick. Like I said, that induction sounds really good. The 400 horsepower, I believe Ford very good on the throttle. But let's do a launch here and see. Not a launch, let's just basically just come to a stop and just kind of accelerate here. And let's put the car into a sport mode here. Ford gives you this knob here. There's plenty of different drive modes. There's a lot of drive modes here in the Explorer. It's in sport though. Yeah, 415 pound-feet of torque. I do believe Ford. And the gauge does turn this nice dark gray with the red tack, which looks really nice. But overall, this thing drives really good. It's good on gas. But like I mentioned, I would just go for the hybrid to get better fuel economy. And that powertrain is shared with the new Ford F-150, if I'm not mistaken. It does have that electric motor sandwiched between the transmission. This 10-speed automatic, I feel like it's not hunting for gears. It's doing a really good job just going through the gears. But this thing is really good. And it really gets up to speed. So if you guys have a history of speeding tickets, I would be careful putting this thing into sport mode because it will basically get away from you when it comes to basically driving fast. Starting price here for the Ford Explorer ST is at $57,980 with the options and accessories including destination. The Ford Explorer ST here stickers for $62,890. Hope you guys have enjoyed this review here. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Drive1Reviews and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next review.